Watch until the end to learn how we got her TSH and free T3 back into the optimal range in just 4 weeks. What I'm about to share might save you years of suffering. When Lynn came to me, she had a TSH of almost 10. For those who don't know, that's bad. Really bad. Her thyroid was struggling. And to give you some reference, everything above 4.5 is considered hypothyroid. Watch until the end to learn how we got her TSH and free T3 back into the optimal range in just 4 weeks. What I'm about to share might save you years of suffering. Lynn had been on thyroid prescription medication for 20 years. Never miss a dose. Let that sink in. 20 years of swallowing pills every single morning, 20 years of doctor visits, 20 years of being told we're managing it. She had drawers, and I'm talking literal drawers stuffed with supplement. And after all of that, her labs still looked like this. Her symptoms worse than ever. But before I tell you what we found, I need you to understand who Lynn is. This isn't the woman who was ignoring her health. She was doing everything. The Holistic Health podcast, the workouts, bought every right supplement, moved her body. She was living and breathing health. And that's exactly why her story might hit close to home. And despite all of that effort, all the research, all the supplements, all the discipline, she told me in our first consultation, Charlene, my quality of life really stinks. I am tired of measuring my food, of being so perfect all the time. I've been chasing good health and long-lasting weight loss since I was 20 years old. That's 38 years and I still cannot figure it out. This is a woman who was doing more for her health than 95% of people ever will. And yet, she was exhausted by noon, crashing on the couch by 7, pain in her body, and constantly plagued by worries and obsessive thoughts about her weight and what may be wrong with her. When Lynn looked into the mirror, she doesn't recognize herself anymore. She was wondering, is this supposed to be my life just now? She was really getting tired of trying, with zero results to show despite the medication for 20 years. She had every single hypothyroid symptom in the book. Fatigue, cold hands and feet, weight that wouldn't budge, constipation, hair thinning, brain fog, heart palpitation. So why did 20 years of medication not fix anything? Conventional doctors, well, they don't look beyond the diagnosis. High TSH means thyroid medication. When her symptoms didn't improve, he increased the dose. And when that failed, he stacked on more medication. That was the doctor's entire playbook. So then Lynn turned to holistic doctors, hoping those would dig deeper. And they didn't. And I see this oftentimes happening in functional medicine. Instead of synthroid, it's thyroid glandular, iodine, selenium, adaptogens, different tools, same approach. Manage the thyroid, never ask why it's broken. Nobody was looking for the root cause. They were all just managing symptoms with different labs. They never asked the most important question, why is the thyroid struggling in the first place? They were treating the smoke, nobody was looking for the fire. So I did what I always do. I looked at the complete picture, not just at her labs, but her supplements, her history, her timeline, and her environment. Something none of her past providers had done before. But it's crucial. Your chronic weight issues and symptoms don't exist in a vacuum. Everything plays into that. And when you're taking, what you've been exposed to, what happened 10, 20, 30 years ago, your stress, your environment, it's all connected. And that's when I found it. When I reviewed Lynn's supplements, I was shocked. Lynn was taking 3 different thyroid iodine supplements. Now, here's what most people believe about iodine. Iodine is good for your thyroid, right? And it can be in the right amount. But too much iodine doesn't boost your thyroid, it shuts it down. It's called the Wolff-Chaikoff effect. When your thyroid gets flooded with excess iodine, it blocks the very process that turned iodine into thyroid hormone. Production shut down, the brain senses something is wrong and sends more and more signals that your TSH is spiking, trying to get the thyroid to respond. But the thyroid can't. It's in protection mode. So your TSH keeps climbing and climbing while your actual thyroid hormones, the T4 and T3 your body needs, they keep dropping. So here's Lynn, taking medication for 20 years, plus loading up on iodine, thinking she's supporting her thyroid. And unknowingly, she was causing more harm to her body than good. But here's the thing, just removing the iodine wasn't enough, because there was a second problem, one that explains why the medication would have never worked even without the excess iodine. Your thyroid hormone produces something called T4, that's the storage form of thyroid hormone. But your body actually cannot use T4. It has to be converted into T3, the active form that controls your metabolism, your energy, your weight. And where does 60 to 65% of that conversion happen? In your liver. Now, for those who don't know, if your liver is sluggish, if your drainage pathways are backed up, if your detox system is overwhelmed, you can take all the thyroid medication in the world and your body cannot use it. It's like depositing a check into a frozen bank account. The money is there, you just cannot access it. Lynn's body was chronically overburdened from toxins and pathogens. Her body was receiving thyroid hormone from the medication, but her liver couldn't convert it into the active form. That's why her 3T3 stayed so low even she was taking the medication every single day. Her body was making thyroid hormone, but it just couldn't cash the check. And this is what 20 years of practitioners missed. They kept giving more thyroid support without ever addressing why her body couldn't use what it was already getting. So here's what we did. And this is the part most people cannot believe because it's so simple. Step 1, we removed the excess iodine. Step number 2, we opened the drainage pathways and supported her liver. We gave her body the ability to actually convert and utilize thyroid hormone. We didn't just adjust the medication or add another thyroid supporting supplements. We removed what was blocking her thyroid from working. And 4 weeks later, her TSH from 9.677 down to 2.294, nearly the optimal range. And her free T3 from 2.91 to 3.17, that is back into the optimal range. Now you will notice we're only comparing 2 markers here, and let me explain why. When Lynn first reached out to me, she brought along the blood work her general doctor had run. She asked me to assess it and give her my perspective, and he had never run a full thyroid panel. So when I sent her off 4 weeks later to get a full thyroid panel, we only had limited data to compare, but even with such limited baseline data, the results are undeniable. Now, I want to be completely transparent here. When I finally saw her full thyroid panel, we saw there was still more work to do. Her thyroid autoimmune markers came back elevated, and for those who don't know, thyroid autoimmunity is a gut issue. When the gut is compromised, the immune system gets triggered and starts attacking the body's own tissue. In Lynn's case, the thyroid. Plus, of course, removing toxins and pathogens in her body is a necessary step to get the thyroid working optimally long term. So this was a huge win, but it was just the beginning. But here's what these 4-week results showed. When you remove what's blocking the thyroid, it can start to recover. So what is Lynn's story telling you? It's telling you that thyroid health isn't just about your thyroid. It's telling you that more supplements, more protocols, more medication isn't always better. And it's telling you that sometimes the answer isn't adding, it's removing. And sometimes what you think is helping your body is actually harming it. Being health conscious and being a health expert are 2 very different things. You wouldn't represent yourself in court if you weren't a lawyer. So trying to navigate a very complex health situation without a true expert, it costs you time you can't get back, money down the drain, and energy you barely have left. And with all the information online available today, podcasts, blogs, social media, Google, it's nearly impossible to know what's actually true anymore. One source says one thing, another source says the opposite. Current data is actually showing that 80% of health information on the internet is not accurate. So you could be doing everything you think is right based on information that was never right to begin with. And keep in mind, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if what you're doing right now is not working for your body, there's a reason for it. If you're watching this and you feel like Lynn did, if you've been told you need to be on thyroid medication for life, if you've been on thyroid medication for years and nothing is changing, or if you feel like you've exhausted every diet, every supplement, and every protocol, but you're still stuck, I hope this video helped you to see your health differently. I'm sending you much love and many blessings.